All right, welcome everybody. Thank you all for joining us. You are here because you were invited by someone you know and trust to watch and participate in today's web class. Today, we're going to talk about the ultimate door opener, how to access new client networks offline without asking for referrals. Real important. I want you to pay attention when we get hired for private one-on-one consulting. We charge $8,666 a day. So treat it as if you invested $8,666 to be here, and I promise you will get a lot more out of it. Let's make sure you're in the right place. Let's talk about who this is for. If you own a professional practice, which means you're a financial advisor, an attorney, an accountant, if you are in healthcare, if you are an author, speaker, coach, consultant, but if you're coaching high ticket, this is for you. If you sell a $7 ebook and that's the entire business, you can drop off. This is probably not the best fit for you. If you are a consultant and you charge high ticket prices. So again, if your consulting fee is $99, this is not for you. If you're charging significant amounts of revenue, you're in the right place. If you have a high ticket e-commerce brand. So again, $10 crystal, not for you. Selling something higher ticket, you're in the right place. If you are raising capital for investors to invest in your company or your deal, this works. It will not work if you are a restaurant, if you are a retail store, if you sell property and casualty insurance, if you sell low ticket digital products, if you are a divorce attorney, if you're a chiropractor who takes insurance and charges like a $35 copay, this will not work for you. Now that we got that out of the way, if if you will stay till the end, I will give you an ethical bribe. We have built a directory of associations that has every association in America. You can search by state, you can search by industry, you can search by size. It is a gold mine, and we will give you access if you are here at the end. The other thing I'm going to tell you is there is nothing for sale today. Put your credit cards away. You cannot buy anything. This is purely educational. So, who I am, why are you listening to me if you don't already know who I am? I have been in business for 20, we have been in business for 27 years. I am an accredited asset management specialist and estate and trust services consultant in the financial services field. I founded and grew howtofindmoneyforcollege.com into the number one college financial aid negotiation service in the country. Our marketing firm that you're here that spun off 19 years ago that you're here to learn about today, the strategy we're going to teach you, was on the Inc. 5000, fastest growing privately held companies in America list a few years ago, and I've written 10 best-selling books. So let's talk about what's possible.
In terms of return on investment, we'll already have fees in excess of anything we paid, certainly to Seth and his team. We're way ahead of the game. We feel like we're only in the second or third inning, and so by the time we get to inning number 9, it's going to be even better. But it's off to a great start, and we couldn't be happier.
All right. So, what is the big idea that you were here to learn about today? Grab a legal pad and your writing utensil of choice. You will need probably many sheets of paper. So, what's the big idea? Stop asking for referrals. I don't want you to ever have to ask for another referral again. I want you to start having doors opened for you. So, I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a minute. I don't want you to be a door knocker. I want you to be a door opener. So type in the chat box, I am a door opener. Give me an I am a door opener, and let's get this started. Give me an I am a door opener in the chat. There we go. I am a door opener. Awesome. Keep those coming. So the best way, I believe, to grow your business is have other people open the door for you. Now, my payroll, full transparency, my payroll last month for all the people who work here was $53,462.54. I've invested over $12 million to learn what I'm about to teach you. In a little bit, I'll ask you to invest $53,462.54 1 month of my payroll. I'm not really going to ask you that, but think about that. Think about if every CPA, attorney, or center of influence you ever met actually promoted your business to their clients. What would that be worth to you? What would that do for your business? Give me an idea in the chat. I promise you won't be wrong. If every COI, CPA, CPA, attorney promoted your business to their clients, what would that be worth to you? What would that do for your business? Give me a guess in the chat. Would it take you to a whole nother level? Could you double your revenue? Could you hire more people? Think about that for just a minute. So, my goal is to convince you that having doors opened for you is the key to growing your business to the next level. And if I do that, I want you to go all in with me. Are you all in? Give me an I'm all in the chat. Give me an all in the chat. All in, all in, all in. Awesome. Keep those chats coming. Or the Facebook posts. Yes, the comments online. Awesome. Keep them all coming. So if you act like you invested $53,462.54 to be here, thank you, Randy. Thank you, Brian. There you go. You will learn more. So first, let's talk about why hasn't what you've tried already worked? It's not your fault. I'm going to share with you this example from Charles.
It actually was on Monday. It was a CPA, came through LinkedIn, one of those connections. And I will say this to everyone. Look, I've been doing this since like 2019, connecting with CPAs on LinkedIn. But after joining here, basically said, let's change the text tonality, basically. And what's amazing is I have two people that I interviewed that I spoke to 3 years ago and there were crickets for 3 years. Crickets. And then all of a sudden, one owns a bookkeeping service, Candy. We interview her. Before I interview her, and I didn't tell you this one, Seth, she said, I have a couple selling a business in California. I already gave him your name and everything. The more you get into it, the more I'm loving this.
So that's what's possible. It's not your fault. Charles had been trying to connect, paid another marketing firm to run his LinkedIn marketing to get him relationships with CPAs for 3 years and got nothing. And in 90 days of doing this, it worked. So don't be a door knocker. Get doors opened for you. So can I show you the system? Can I show you what you're here to learn? Give me a yes in the chat box. Let's keep that chat going. It's more fun if it's interactive. Thank you. There we go. Nick wins for fastest fingers. There we go. All right. So I want you to grade me today. And at the end, let me know if this is what we're going to talk about. Number one, how to turn the toughest gatekeeper into your best advocate without asking for referrals. Number two, how to leverage social media to access your COI, your center of influence client base, and unlock a stream of high quality leads. And number three, we're going to talk about the simple monthly system to keep COIs dating you without any hard selling so you become their go-to advisor. Now, as a business owner, you have one fundamental marketing problem. Everything, all the courses, all the tapes, all the conferences, right? All boil down to one thing. You need a regular flow of qualified, interested, ideal client leads in the door, right? That's it. So I went to Syracuse University a long time ago, like 27 years ago, 30 years ago. And I went for theater, musical theater, because at the time, at 18, my life goal was to be a Broadway star. That's what I wanted to do. And you see my stage has obviously changed just a little bit, and it's because of my dad. I can still remember it. It was the day before Thanksgiving break. It was Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I was packing my backpack and my duffel bag to come home for my first vacation from college. And my phone rang. I answer. It's my dad. And he says, hey, Seth, you can't stay there. I said, well, I know I'm coming home for Thanksgiving break. I'm going to be there in a few hours. And he said, no, you can't stay at Syracuse. You have to transfer to SUNY Buffalo. You can't dorm. You have to live at home. You have to get a part-time job and work and help us. You have to help your mother around the house with chores. There's no loud music after 9 p.m. And you cannot have any girls over when we're not home. See you for Thanksgiving. Click. Hung up on me. It's a true story. I called my mother in tears going, Mom, what happened? I just got here 2 months ago. I love it here. You guys just visited for Parents Weekend. What the heck? And she said, your father got the tuition bill and he's freaking out. Come home. We'll figure it out. He did this every single semester. Thankfully, I never had to transfer. I got to do all 4 years. I got to graduate, but I changed in addition to the theater degree, which I completed, I also created a degree program that didn't exist back then in college financial aid negotiation because I thought there had to be a better way and I wanted to figure it out. And that's what inspired me back in the late 90s to find howtofindmoneyforcollege.com. And the marketing I'm about to share with you is what grew it to the #1 college financial aid negotiation firm in the country. So it didn't start out that way, though. When I became a retail financial advisor 27 years ago, trying to help people with college, I made 300 cold calls a day, interrupting strangers asking for money. This is before the do not call list. I think, Ron, you might have hung up on me. I hated it. I loved helping people, but I hated cold calling. How many of you have ever had to cold call for business? Give me a, I feel your pain if you've been there. Give me a, I feel your pain in the chat or in the comments. Pain, pain, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Yes, I'm not texting anybody. I'm looking at the online messages. I feel your pain. Thank you, Nick. Awesome. So, despite the fact that we got great results, this is an example of a client that we got $47,750 a year in free money for college. And you would think with results like that, my clients would be doing cartwheels. Well, I was hearing like Charles, I heard crickets because when they gave me, I would get a referral. Thank you, Frank. I would get one or two at a time. I wanted leverage. And I finally cracked the code, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So this is accountant and CPA. This is CPA and certified tax coach Gary Help. I interviewed Gary 5 years ago. He sent me 10 clients in the last month. 5 years ago, I did this process. I'm still getting referrals from him every single month. I got 10 referrals, all 10 of them booked meetings. I had a 100% success rate. Who here would like a 100% success rate? Put 100% in the chat. 100%. So maybe you got the same problem I did. What's your referral rate? Here, let's figure it out really quick. Type in the chat how many clients you are serving right now. How many clients or customers you are serving? Caesar, Diana, George, Randy, awesome. Philip, Nick, awesome. How many clients are you serving right now? All right, George says 50. Okay, so now I want you to write in how many referrals you got in the month of April, right? Just ended. How many referrals did you get in April? Hopefully you're tracking that number. Put that number in the chat. How many referrals did you get in April? 3. Awesome. Now you're going to divide the number of referrals by the number of clients. So George is going to divide 3 by 50 and get a 6% referral rate. So George has a 6% referral rate in the month of April. But here's the thing, flip it upside down. And here's what I mean by that. 100% minus the 6% who referred means 94% of George's clients didn't refer in April. That's scary, huh? Do that. Figure out that exercise for yourself. Now, before I figured this out, I tried, my branch manager at the Fortune 500 company gave me some orphan leads. Right? There's Annie. He gave me some orphan leads. Orphan leads were clients whose financial advisor left the firm and for whatever reason they didn't go with him. So he said, here's a stack of orphan leads. Give them a call. Introduce yourself as your new advisor. Set up a meeting. See if there's any more business. And then ask them who their CPA or attorney is and take them out to lunch and get some business. So I called all these clients. I did all the meetings. I asked for intros to the CPAs. I called every CPA and invited them out to lunch. Every single CPA said yes. I was going to be rich. I was going to get a Ferrari. I had the money. I had killer stereo. I was 20, early 20s. I was so excited. Well, take a guess what those CPAs said to me when we had lunch. I didn't get any referrals. They said, I know other financial advisors send me business. I can't play favorites. Some of them said, I don't refer. Some of them said, I don't know you. Some of them said, it looks like you're relatively young. Don't you guys all drop out in the first 5 years as financial advisors? Call me in 5 years if you're still in the business. So how many of you have ever tried asking a center of influence for referrals? Any kind of center of influence. Give me I tried that in the chat. How many of you have been to BNI? I was in BNI for over a decade. Or you try going to a tip club or a chamber of commerce meeting, or you join groups, or you sponsor an association. I did all of those things and nothing worked for me until the ultimate door open process you are about to learn. So let me ask you this. What is one client worth to you? I know it's going to vary all over the map, but give me just a ballpark range. Is your average client worth $1,000 in the first year? Do they pay you $5,000? Do they pay you $10,000? Do they pay you $100,000? Give me, I see 5,000, I see 7,500, I see 12,000. Awesome. 10,000 in year one, says Nick. Awesome. Keep the answers coming. So let's say Brian says 20%. Okay. So what's one client worth to you? Let's say 10,000 in year one. If we doubled your referral rate, if George went from a 6% referral rate to a 12% referral rate, and every client's worth 10 grand, if George gets now 3 more referrals, 10 grand a pop, that's 30 grand a month. That's a huge impact on your business. So here's how I learned this. I had the good fortune so Dave D, I found in my spare time, I am a amateur magician. And I read in Magic Magazine a full page ad for a marketing course for magicians written by Dave D. And that marketing course said you could make a six-figure executive level income working part-time as a magician. I bought that course. I implemented that course. I became the most successful, busiest, most expensive magician in Western New York where I live, Buffalo. Then I used my critique certificate that I faxed into Dave, and I did a call with Dave, and I said, "Hey, would this stuff for magic work in my real job as a college financial aid advisor?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Where'd you learn it?" And he said the two words that changed my life. He said, "Dan Kennedy." So I went to work with Dan. I bought book. He's got like 27 or whatever books. I went and bought books. I went to conferences. I got to do a consult with Dan. And Dan said, "You're doing everything your industry taught you, which is wrong. You're cold calling for financial services business. You're trying to save up the money to do a big, mass market seminar and feed people free dinners. Like, it's wrong. Not that it can't work. It's just horrible positioning. It will take too long and it won't work as well as it could." And he said, "Everyone you meet, everyone who should come to you, they should find you, they should seek you out, they should know who you are, why you do, why it's different, what you charge, who you do it for, and they should be pre-interested, pre-qualified, and predisposed to do business with you." I said, "That's the holy grail. Sign me up. How do I do that?" And he said, "You write me this really big check and I'll change your life." So I went home to my wonderful wife and I said, "Honey, I know that in the last 12 months, we got married, we bought our first house, we had our first baby, who is now 19, and you quit your job to be a stay-at-home mom. I am the sole breadwinner for our family of three, and I am cold calling for a living. I now need to go borrow more than our mortgage to hire this guy, Dan Kennedy." You got a new idea, you're all excited, and then you got to go home and resell it to your spouse and try and get her as excited. So that was my pitch to my wife. And the first time I pitched to my wife, she said, "No, you're cold calling for a living. We're just making ends meet. I just quit my job. You cannot go spend all of that money, you can't spend all that money on Dan. We don't have it. You'd have to borrow it." And I asked her again in day 2, and I asked her again in day 3. And on day 31, I can be very persistent, which is why I'm still in business. On day 31, this is what she said. She said, "You know what? We don't have to pay off that 100 grand all on day 1. It's a loan." She said, "We just have to make enough money to pay the first monthly payment and buy yourself another 30 days. And I said, "Oh my God, that is a supportive wife." And she said, "You better pray it works, but all you got to do is make enough to make payment number 1. And I said, "Okay, even if I have to double the 300 cold calls a day, if I have to do 600 cold calls a day, if I have to work 16 hours to make the first payment, I will do it." So that's how the Ultimate Door Opener was born. Dan taught me the first elements of the strategy, which I'll share with you. And then I have taken it to a whole nother level, which you'll hear about in just a second. So what is the Ultimate Door Opener system? Let's go through the 3 steps. So number 1, how to turn the toughest gatekeeper into your best advocate without asking for referrals. And you can get this done in the first 90 days. So how I learned it. Dan taught me to think differently. Not only did he say, "Who's your ideal client?" and help me narrow it down, but he then said, "Let's go one level deeper. Who serves your ideal client? Who else serves your ideal client?" So let's do that. Who is a leverage or a referral source who could get you in front of a ton of clients at the exact same time? So don't ask for referrals. Get doors opened for you. There are closed groups of ideal clients you can't access on your own, like associations. This is the Bar Association of Erie County, where all of the lawyers here in Western New York are members of. Thanks to this process, I got into the Bar Association of Erie County. This is the Arkansas HVAC Association. I didn't try and get in there. It's just another example of an association. This is the American Advertising Federation of Utah. This is the Syracuse, New York City Alumni Club. Again, we've got a directory we'll give you access to at the end. There are also hobby groups. There are groups of people who congregate because they collect a certain type of car. There is a Corvette club here in Western New York. There is a smaller exotic car club. There is a Mustang club. There is a boat club for everybody who owns a boat. And of course, in every city in America, pretty much, there is a country club for golf and tennis and now pickleball and paddle and socialization. So I tried joining as a member and hoping business fell from the sky. It did not work. That's called networking. Don't network for referrals. I also tried spending a ton of money to be a corporate sponsor of an association. It costs $25,000 per year to be a strategic alliance partner for EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, which is a peer-to-peer group of entrepreneurs doing at least 7 figures in revenue. I figured 7 figures, $1 million business owners, perfect target market for me. I was a sponsor of EO for 2 years and I got nothing. Then I used this process. I got invited to speak at EO events where I was the featured speaker and I got business from it. So I'm going to teach you how to enter those groups in a completely different way. So we've got a unique process you're about to learn on how to access those groups through trust. So how does it work? Real quick, how many of you have read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins? I've read it in the chat or in the comments. Read it, haven't read it. Okay. Awesome. Read it. Good job, Frank. Good job, George. Okay. So there's a sequel that most people don't know about. Not built to last, not too big to fail. It's called Turning the Flywheel, a monograph to accompany Good to Great. I highly, it's like you can read it in half an hour or less. It's phenomenal. Highly suggest it. The concept of the book, Turning the Flywheel. So this is a flywheel. And in manufacturing, what happens is it takes an enormous amount of energy and time to get the flywheel to start turning because it's really heavy. But once it starts spinning and generating electricity and generating power, you could literally push it with your finger. Your kid could push it with their finger and it would keep going. So he says you have a flywheel in your business. In our case, at Market Domination, people hire us because they want the results we deliver. They stay not just because of the results, but for year after year after year because the experience they get working with us and the results they get. That experience leads them to give us referrals, which turn into leads for us, which turn into enrollment opportunities, which gets us more people to hire us. So as long as we deliver the results and the experience and we focus on improving those, the flywheel will keep spinning on its own. So let's get to step number 1, how to turn the toughest gatekeeper into your best advocate. I tried working those orphan leads. I tried taking those CPAs out to lunch and I know a number of advisors, I can't play favorites. Doesn't work. How do you get the toughest gatekeeper into your biggest advocate? Number 1, the first book Dan gave me to read was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. When I read it, I realized Napoleon Hill started out knowing nothing. He was a young reporter when Andrew Carnegie gave him the opportunity of a lifetime. And he interviewed 500 of the most successful people of his time and then spent the rest of his life writing books about it and teaching it. I said, I'm a new advisor. I don't know anything yet, but I could interview people. So the ultimate door opener flywheel was born. Are you ready? This is step 1. The first thing you're going to do is you are going to take those centers of influence who serve the same clients you do, not your competition, what I call your co-opetition, and you are going to interview them on a podcast. So write down podcast. Now, it does not matter if you don't have a podcast. It doesn't matter if you don't listen to podcasts. I guess it matters if you can spell podcast. A podcast is a radio show on your phone. Same thing. So you are first going to interview that center of influence. Now, 19 years ago, when I started this, it didn't start out as a podcast because podcasting wasn't really a thing. I started interviewing people on an Olympus voice recorder. I'm holding it up. You can see it. I still have it. It still works. I just need a special adapter because it wasn't a USB port because USB didn't exist 19 years ago. I physically went out in person and recorded them on this Olympus voice recorder. And the reason I was doing interviews was I wanted to interview them to put them in my very first book, Feel Like You Were Born with a Silver Spoon in Your Mouth. This was my first financial services book. And I was too nervous at first. I interviewed a few clients first in case I messed it up. Then I added social media. So you're going to interview that ideal center of influence. And then when the podcast goes live, you're going to give them the video clips and the graphics and the Facebook and the LinkedIn and the X and all the posts so they can go brag about being on your show. They will literally brag about it because they are bragging about themselves and they're going to take you along for the ride. And then the cool part is because they posted on their social media, you're going to get activity. People are going to comment on that post. People are going to go listen to that show and you've got an opportunity if you want to follow up with them and turn them into leads. That takes about 90 days. And when I did it, it worked. This is Mike. These are all the group text messages of Mike, who is a college client of ours for both of his kids And these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all of the referral introductions he sent. That's 8 referrals in a year from one client. Isn't that exciting? Who wants 8 referrals from every one of your clients? Wouldn't that be awesome? So once it worked, I then went back to every CPA I ever met, every attorney I ever met, everybody I ever networked with. This is Harsh Arora. He is a business attorney at Kelly, was a business attorney at Kelly Cronenberg. I interviewed him on my podcast. It worked so well, he asked me to do a webinar for all of his entire clients. So I got to do a webinar for hundreds and hundreds of business owners endorsed by their attorney. Who else wants to be in front of all of an attorney's clients all at the same time? You are all here because I am a product of the process. The reason you are all here is because you were invited by one person who went through this process. And then it worked, and they invited all of you here. Again, I interviewed CPA Gary Helt 5 years ago. He sent me 10 clients. This was December. 10, every single one booked a meeting. 100% success rate. How would a CPA, and he sends me clients every single month. That was just the last screenshot I took. How would a CPA sending you 10 referrals who all booked appointments affect your business? That process got me nominated by Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson for Marketer of the Year.
What happens if they ask you right up front? So what do you do? What's in it for you?
All right, awesome. So Chick, the accountant, asked me, Bob, the advisor, all right, says, that would be at the end of the podcast. Thanks so much. Why are you doing this?
He did it in the front on Monday.
At the beginning. Okay. So
At the
hi,
beginning,
nice to meet
so
you.
I walked him through my proactive tax reduction thing. He loved it. Told me he had some clients already. And then we went into the interview.
All right. So, damn. Chick's stealing all my thunder here. I love it. So,
Sorry.
no, you're good. So, I would normally tell you not to do that.
I was biting my lip not to do it, but he was pretty adamant
He
before we
made you
started.
sell to him. Okay.
What?
He made you sell him. I love it. So again, I normally wouldn't answer the question. I would try not to. I would try and let the magic work first. But in this case, it worked really freaking well for Chick. So awesome. We're going to have Chick tell us what he said in just a minute because he closed before the interview even happened, which is freaking awesome, right? It works better than expected. Okay. So you want to see how we did that? Don't be a door knocker. Get doors open for you. Give me a I am a door opener in the chat or in the comments. Give me a I am a door opener. Door opener, says Irma. Door opener, says Mark. Door opener, says Travis. Awesome. Door opener. Keep those coming. So step 2, how you are going to leverage social media to access your center of influence's client base and unlock a steady stream of high quality leads. After I read Think and Grow Rich, Dan gave me book number 2 to read. Book number 2 was Chet Holmes' The Ultimate Sales Machine, which I highly suggest. It's one of my top 10 books of all time, as is Think and Grow Rich. Now, there is one chapter in Chet Holmes' book that changed my life, and it is called The Best Buyer Strategy. So I'm going to tell you how we implement that. Again, we're interviewing our ideal centers of influence or referral sources on a podcast. We're giving them social media posts to go brag about themselves. We're capitalizing on all the people who engage with that post. Then, this is really important, a week after the podcast airs, we are sending what I call our magic tumbler. Let me show you the magic tumbler. So, George, I interview you on a podcast because you're my ideal center of influence, right? All the business owners that you do marketing and printing for could be clients of mine. I interview George. George is on the show. I give George a social media post. George goes and posts them on Facebook and LinkedIn and goes, look at me, I was on Seth's show. A week later, a big brown box shows up in the mail at George's office. And George says, I didn't order anything from Amazon today. What is this? He opens it up and he gets our magic tumbler, which looks like a Yeti, but it's magic because of the art that's on it. So there is my picture. In this case, all of you, it would be your picture as the show host. And then that would be George's picture. So this is me. This is my guest. And then this is the quote of the smartest thing he said on the show that makes him feel really good about himself. So here's the really cool part. George goes crazy. George is like, oh my God, Seth, I can't believe you sent me this. This is so cool. George keeps it. George drinks his coffee or tea all day, every day, and stares at my face. Anytime someone comes into his office, they ask him, what is that tumbler? What is that mug? Anytime He's on Zoom and he takes a sip. Someone says, "What's on that cup?" And he tells them all about me. So I have gone beyond top of mind awareness and I now have top of desk. Do you see how that powerful that is? I am now permanently in front of him. But wait, there's more. Every single month, I am going to send something else to George in the mail. Not a tumbler every time, obviously. He doesn't need 75 tumblers. Rose says, very cool, love it. Thank you, Rose. I am going to send George something physical in the mail every single month, which we'll talk about in just a second. 120 days. Now, let me share with you someone else's perspective of how well the tumbler works.
Had a success story.
Yeah, please.
I just did a podcast this morning with a CPA. He helps business owners with everything, but he's very interested and very excited about getting back with me or us getting back together so we can work together because he wants to add our family office to his offerings.
Awesome.
I get rave reviews on that tumbler, and because it's the first time they've ever had their mug on a mug.
Yep.
Oh, there's a pun. I like that. They don't have their mug on a mug. I'm going to use that. All right. So we can even print, pack, design, and ship not only the tumblers, but all of the direct mail that goes out every single month for you. So it's center of influence marketing, but with a twist. So here's how it works. You're going to do one season of you're going to take a baby step. You're going to do one season of your podcast, 10 episodes aimed at one niche target market. So maybe we'll help you brainstorm. If you don't have a niche, we'll help you pick one. If you don't have a target market, we'll help you pick one. Now, how I learned this was because I'm going to show you how to get invited into those closed door groups like associations where you earn a trusted endorsement from the leadership. So again, we're going to start by interviewing them on a podcast where they get to talk about themselves for 30 minutes. The show is about them. It's not about you. Why are we starting with a podcast? Because it makes them feel good and it gives them something to share, which they will share to brag about themselves. Everybody's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? These are examples of social media posts that our clients' guests created and posted, bragging about the fact that they were on our client shows. And then we keep nurturing them for you every single month until you reap the rewards. And I'm going to show you that process in just a second because it is a win-win-win for everybody. This is another example. I just spoke with John Emschmiller, enrolled agent. He would have no problem with a newsletter. He knows he has a lot of clients who could benefit from working with me. He only has 3,000 clients who are dentists around the Midwest, along with other business owners. He was very appreciative of the tumbler as everyone asks him about it. He has had a great response to the podcast. Patience pays off. Cheers. That's what's possible. That iteration got me nominated for Market of the Year again, 2 times in a row. So don't be a door knocker. Get doors open for you. So step 3, the simple monthly system to keep the COI dating you without any hard selling so you become their go-to advisor. And this happens in months 4 to 6. How I learned this. So every single month we ship something to that guest. It isn't podcast swag. It might be a box of chocolates. It might be a bag of popcorn. It might be a book. It might be a journal. It's something small and inexpensive, but thoughtful. So every single month, that center of influence gets conditioned that when a package shows up in the mail with my name on it, they get really excited to see what crazy, clever, creative thing I sent. Now, sounds like a lot of time and effort. It is. We can do it all for you, but that's a whole separate conversation. So let's talk some more. We're going to interview them on a podcast. We're going to give them social media posts to brag about themselves. We're going to capitalize on that first wave of activity of people commenting and sharing it. We're going to ship them our magic tumbler the week after the show airs. And then every single month, we're going to send them something physical in the mail that keeps us in front of them. And if you do that, statistically speaking, by the time we've done this 7,232 times, and by the time you get to step 2 or 3, you will get one of 2 emails from your guest, which will open the doors for you. They will either say, and again, we've done it all 7,000 times, so here's the 2 emails you will get. The email will be, Nick, thank you so much for interviewing me on your podcast. I love all the cool stuff you keep sending me. I feel bad. Nick, this is your guest. I feel bad because all I did on the podcast was talk about myself. That's what we wanted them to do. I need to learn about you. Nick, can we please set up another call so I can hear about your business and how you might be able to help my clients? Game over. Or you get the second email. Nick, Thank you so much for having me on the show. I love all the cool stuff you keep sending me. What can I do for you? And if you follow our process of how you answer that question, you will have an ambassador for your brand. They will literally start promoting your business to their clients every single month, driving you leads on a consistent, regular basis without you having to ask. Mic drop. That takes 5 to 6 months. Let me show you how it works.
But I do have a success story. That was
Yay,
fair.
tell us.
Okay. So last night I had done a podcast with a lady named Carlotta Thompson. She has Tech Strategists of America, and she was actually the first person I did a podcast with. Last night, before this is actually even aired, simply on the basis of the interview, the podcast, first one that I did with her, I got this email from Carlotta, and it says, please meet Chelsea, Kim, and Laura. Kim is our tax treasurer coordinator. Chelsea is our operations manager. Laura is our partnership coordinator and CEO. Lauren offers retirement options as well as investments, and I'd like to get her set up and send eligible clients over to her team. And then before I even had a chance to respond, I got, hi, Lauren, great to meet you. I look forward to connecting regarding retirement options and investments for our eligible clients. Can we schedule a meeting next week at a time convenient for you? Thank you. Kimberly Johnson, Treasurer Hunts Department, Tax Strategist of America. We could definitely have some synergies between our two firms. And she initiated that before the podcast has even run. So I was pretty jacked. I just wanted to share that with all of you because obviously Seth has come up with something that's brilliant and it's working really well. And I was only my first person, my first tax professional.
Well, congratulations. That is awesome. That is a great success story. I can't wait for the next one. All right. That got me nominated for Market of the Year by Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson a third time. And then in 2016, they stopped having the contest. They will not confirm or deny if I broke it, if they got tired of nominating me, but they waited like 9, 10 more years before they opened it back up again. So don't be a door knocker. Get doors open for you. All right. So how are we doing? Did we talk about how we're going to turn our gatekeeper into our advocate, how we're going to leverage their social media to access their client base, and how we stay in front of them without hard selling so you become their go-to advisor? Tell me how I'm doing in the chat. Give me a score, 1 to 100. 97, 94, 90, 96, 100, 100, 100, 99, 95. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Randy. Awesome. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are you excited about what we're talking about so far? Give me a yes in the chat box or in the comments. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Excited, excited. Awesome. Yes, triple exclamation point. Thank you, Nick. But you might feel like this guy, right? You're drinking a little bit from a fire hose because we're throwing a lot at you, a new concept in a short period of time. But hopefully you see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. This could actually work. So is it okay if I share with you how you can put it to work in your business? Yes, 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 please. Yes, yes. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about the ultimate. Yes, says Rose. Thank you, Rose. Let's talk about the ultimate door owner process. What do you need? Well, if you're doing this, you need a podcast title because you need a show. You need podcast graphic design. You need the art. You need all the art and the branding around the show. You already have a podcast. Awesome, Rose. I'm going to show you how to make it work even better. Stay with me. You need a podcast intro, right? The like radio show introduction that gets people excited to listen to the show and know about you. You need an outro that tells people what to do next. You need a one sheet to get people to want to be guests, like it's like a little media kit for your show. You need a one sheet for you to get you booked on other people's shows. You need an interview coaching session. We have a 2-time Emmy award-winning writing team. We've done over 7,000 interviews, and we've got it down to a science, and we have a psychologically proven formula for what questions we ask in what order that will get the best results. You need to do a practice interview our way so that you're used to it. You need 10 sets of interview questions because remember, we're doing one season. We're doing 10 episodes, 10 relationships. So I need 10 sets of interview questions. I need 10 produced audio episodes. I need 10 produced video episodes. I need 10 social media posts. I need 10 video clips. I need 10 promotional packages for them to promote the show for me. I need 10 swipe files for them to use. I need 10 magic tumblers. I need 10 sets of gifts. Remember, they're getting something every month in the mail. And I need my shows, all episodes syndicated to Apple and Spotify and Stitcher and TuneIn and iHeartRadio and everywhere else. You add all that up, it's a legit value of $55,356. All to get 10 profitable relationships. That's the goal. Now, I know the question you're asking, and Rose is saying, I already have a podcast. Can I just do this myself? You absolutely can. Here's who you need to do it. You need a copywriter. You need a graphic designer. You need an audio editor. And these are the salaries that I pay my people, just so you know. You need an audio editor. You need a video editor. You need an interview coach who's done this 7,000 times. You need a social media marketer to create all the content. No, you can't use ChatGPT to do it. You need a producer to produce the actual show. You need somebody to handle all of the direct mail, all of the print, pack, design, ship, and fulfillment. You need an account manager. You need a project manager, a chief operations manager, and of course, you need me as your fabulous CEO. You add that all up, you get my payroll of $553,560. And then you got to figure out how to do all this, and then you got to train them how to do it. We've been doing it for 19 years, 7,232 relationships built, 7,232 lessons learned. Do you think if we've got 7,000 reps, we might have figured some things out you don't know yet? 19 years of payroll, 10 million bucks. Or you can get my entire team of experts working for you for a fraction of my payroll. Now, let me ask you this. What is the biggest expense in your life? What's the thing you spend the most money on? Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. My mortgage, my kids' college, my 401k. Yep. Taxes. That's it. Normally, the mathematical answer is the biggest expense you pay is taxes. Randy says mortgage. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say it's not the taxes. I'm going to say it's ignorance. Here's why. Randy, if you are making $250,000 a year this year and you want to get to $1 million and you don't know how, that lack of knowledge, that ignorance is costing you $750,000 in money this year that you didn't make because you didn't know how to get from 250 to $1 million. So the question is, do you want to pay life $750,000 this year? The gap between where you are and where you want to be is the biggest cost that you have. Do you want to keep paying that every year to not make that money? Or do you want to bridge that gap, get it done for you, done right the first time, every time? If your one client is worth $10,000, as an example that we saw earlier, and knowing each relationship we get you can generate way more than one client, would you pay that 10 grand times 10, say 100? Would you pay $100,000? Would you invest $100,000 to get 10 referral relationships that could get you a whole lot more than 10 clients? Good news is it doesn't cost $100,000. But would you? Would you invest that? Would you pay 100 grand to go from 250 to $1 million? If all it took to get warm introductions to 10 impossible to reach centers of influence was to stop pitching and start using a values first invitation that makes them want to talk to you, would it be worth it? If all this did was get 10 doors open for you, would it be worth it? And if all this did was build you into their process, so they promoted you to their clients, would that be worth it? We're going to turn those gatekeepers into guides, shepherding you into their client base. So you get introductions without ever having to ask for referrals again. And we generate new leads every single week from your centers of influence social media connections without you having to sponsor another networking event or association and keep those centers of influence dating you every single month without taking much of your time. Would it be worth it? Now, reason why I told you at the beginning there's nothing for you to buy today is because we're sold out. We currently do not have capacity. We cannot take in any more clients, at least for a little bit. I believe we're sold out for the next month. But here's what Dave asked me to offer you. He said, I want you to teach them the strategy and I want you to help them. And I said, okay. So if this resonates with you, I want you to scan this QR code or go to bookwithseth.com. We made available, I think there's 3 or 4 days this month that have open time slots on the calendar. You'll be talking directly to me, not my sales team. And there will be no sales pressure on that call. What we'll talk about is we'll mind map out and analyze your business and say, would this process work for you? Could it work for you? Could it work for your target market? Can we help you identify it or help you pick the niche? And Would it work? And would there be an ROI? Would there be an attractive enough return on your investment that it makes sense? If it won't work in your market, if it won't work for your business, if it won't get the ROI you need, we'll tell you. And we'll part ways as friends and you'll have learned something. If it turns out it's a good fit for you and it makes sense, then we can have a discussion about how you get on our waiting list for when we have capacity. So if you are not on your mobile device watching this, if you're on a laptop or a desktop, scan that, hold your phone up, put the camera app on, hold your phone up to that QR code, a little yellow link will pop up, which will take you to bookwithseth.com. Or you can go type just in another browser, bookwithseth.com, and it will take you to the calendar. Oh, there aren't that many days. So what happened was when you registered to attend this web class, on the thank you page, there was a video with a link to my calendar explaining if you want to skip the line, go grab a time now before the web class even happens. A number of you took advantage of that. So it looks like a lot of the time, there might be a few time slots left. You can always push out till June. I know we've got more in June. But that's why when I gave you the opportunity to jump the line, when you registered for this, hopefully you took us up on it. Now, if we were to end up working together when we've got capacity, we're going to do all that work for you. The podcast title, graphic design, intro, outro, one sheets, interview coaching, practice interview, 10 sets of interview questions, 10 produced audio and video episodes, 10 packages, social media, video clips, promotional packages, swipe files, tumblers, gift sets, syndication. So you will have a copywriter, a graphic designer, an audio editor, a video editor, an interview coach, a social media marketer, a producer, a direct mail expert, an account manager, a COO, and a COO. You will have 19 people who work here, all working for you. So go grab that time at Book with Seth. Again, there won't be anything for sale on that call. We're at max capacity right now. So Dave said, hey, will you help them see if this will work for them? They can either go implement it themselves if they want, or when you guys have capacity, you could put them on you could get them on your waiting list. And I said, yeah, we could absolutely do that. So let's open it up. We also have a unique process to market your show. So Rose, it's not enough that you just have a show. Number one, this is a very different strategy than most podcasts use, which is why most podcasts pod fade or fail. The majority of podcasts quit with less than 10 episodes because they didn't go viral. They thought if they just went and had a podcast, it would go viral, they'd become the next Joe Rogan and they make money, which is not what happens. We have a proven process to market your show. The advertising budget's included in our process every month. We literally will go find your target market, find out what shows they listen to in your geographic area, if you are local or statewide or national, and then we will run ads on those shows and drive them to your show. It works incredibly well. No one else has figured out how to do this yet, so it's ridiculously effective and inexpensive. My wife in March, got over, I think it was like 130,000 downloads of her show, of real people in the United States, moms, because she has a parenting show, and they stuck around. So it works incredibly well. It sounds very different. What is the typical cost when your program is open? Rose, that is a great question. The magic answer is, it depends. Because your business is different. Every business is different. Your market is different. If you are geographically based, like if you're a financial advisor in one city or one state, how competitive that market is going to affect how much we do and how well it will work, and of course what the investment would be. So grab a time at bookwithseth.com and we will certainly discuss it. Number one, it's got to be a good fit for you. It's got to be right for you. You've got to be a good fit for us. We are also, you need to know this, we are also geographically exclusive. So what that means is if Randy and Nick are financial advisors and Randy is in Buffalo, New York, where I am, sorry, Randy, it's already taken. Now, theoretically, Lauren, who you saw, is in Western New York. Now, the reason why I let Lauren in is because she is going after a very different target market than I am. So we're not in competition and it's fine. If I was in New York City, in Manhattan, maybe I could have 5 or 10 different, in this example, financial advisors in New York, because it's so big. But if I'm in rural Oklahoma, population 4,000, one person per profession is all we're going to do. Because otherwise it wouldn't work. You'd be competing against each other. So we also have to see if in your profession, is your city already locked out? Do we have someone who already does what you do and we can't help you? I can teach you more about the process, but we can't do it for you. Or do you have the opportunity to lock all of your competition out from your city if we don't have someone who does what you do in your area? Rose, hopefully that makes sense and hopefully that helps. Other comments or questions? Can you put the link in the chat again? Yes, bookwithseth.com. Other comments or questions? I was looking in my closet the other day. I still have the very original marketing course I bought from Dave D. It's called The Ultimate Marketing System for Magicians. It never fails. I have the binder. I have the VHS tapes. I still have it. Yes, it agrees. I'm in the ZFin planning business. Is that supposed to be financial planning business, Bruce? Please chase me away with what might be the minimum to commit. It takes 30 minutes a week, and you're going to do 10 episodes. We're going to do a test. We're going to do a small package. We're going to do one season. We have clients who do a whole year, and we do an episode a relationship every week for 50 weeks in a row. Dave said, hey, for my folks, give them a baby step. Give them something that isn't a 12-month, year-long, 50-episode commitment. So we came up with our custom package of one mini season, 10 episodes. Oh, can you pull up the calendar link? Because if you look at it, yep. Okay, so if you go to it now, yep, it looks like we've got 2 days left in May, the 14th and the 29th. Everything else got taken. And then obviously there should be, there's a ton more in June. If you can't get the 14th or the 29th, if those don't work for your time zones in May, then go into June. Other comments or questions? Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here. I hope you learned a lot. I hope I inspired you. Most importantly, I hope we get to chat about it. There will be no sales pressure on that call. Dave will tell you, it's not the way we do business. What is minimum to die BD? Diet your broker dealer? Oh, minimum to spend. Again, Bruce, every business is different. I know you want me to just give you a price and say it's $50,000. It's not $50,000. But I know you want me to just give you a price and have you go, oh my God, that's too much. I don't want to do it. I totally get that. So grab a time. We'll talk about it. Again, it's going to vary. You could be in New York City and it could be ferociously competitive, or you could be in the middle of nowhere and it could be way easier. Oh, thank you, George. Are we getting the link? Yes. Thank you. I totally forgot. Association link. Hang on. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. What you're going to do is you are going to shoot me and you're going to reply to the emails that got you here and say, I want the association link, and I will email you back the link. Yes. If you do that now, I will get you the link in the next 20 minutes. I will get it to you right away. Thank you for reminding me to tell you how to get it. Shoot me an email, reply to the Zoom emails that reminded you to be here, and I will get you the link. Yes, association link. Bruce, yes. Here, what is your email in case I can't find it? Okay. My email is seth@marketdominationprogram.com. It is in the chat. Shoot me an email with the subject line association link, and I will get it right back to you. Not a problem. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Dave, thank you for having me. It was an honor to get to serve your audience and give back, because without Dave, I wouldn't have found Dan Kennedy and I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I was today. Say slower email. Seth@marketdominationprogram.com. Bruce, it is in the chat right above your comment. Hopefully you can see the chat. Seth@marketdominationprogram.com. And if you reply to the Zoom reminder emails, it will go to me. We will get you the association link, and I'll see you all on your calls. Thanks, everybody.